As a business owner myself, I know firsthand how hard it can be and the struggles of trying to manage cash flow. When we first started this business, we thought we had a great idea. You know what? We realized you got to actually have some money if you're going to make loans. It's not easy. You got to manage cash flow. And so what's it like when a customer calls you, you have work in front of you? In our case, it was a loan, but you don't have the money. Look, we've been around 10 and a half years now. We don't have that problem anymore, but there's days and weeks where we still have to manage cash. We have payroll. We have loans that need to go out. We have payments that are coming in. We have all different types of things. Our cash flow is pretty dynamic at this point in terms of managing it. And it's just like a construction contractor. It's just like any other small business, manufacturer, or fabrication. I want to talk today about the importance of financial modeling and having that information at your fingertips. Knowing firsthand how difficult it was for me and how incapable I was of making a decision without information, and now having the information readily available, what reports to create, what information to get so that I can make decisions on a daily, weekly basis, it's game changing. Not only for me, but for my employees, for their families, for my team and me and Sleep and my customers. It's amazing and it's easy to do, but it's not easy if no one ever shows you. In this video, I'm going to show and talk to you about the importance of financial modeling, what you need to know, how you can get to it, and what it's going to do for you. My name is Scott Peper. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Mobilization Funding, and for the last 10 and a half years, I've been a small business owner too. And today I'm going to talk about just that. First, let's talk about financial modeling and what is it. Look, there's fancy words all around finance, and a lot of them are intimidating. But at the end of the day, all financial modeling is this no different than a set of blueprints. It's just blueprints for your financials. It's blueprints for the business. It's blueprints for the cash flow. It's just blueprints. It's your directions. If you were in the kitchen business making food and you're a chef, it's your recipe. That's all it is. And figuring out what ingredients you need to know that are going to be the key factors in your ability to make decisions for your business is all financial modeling is. Okay? So we can get it real dramatic about it. We can get very much detail, but at the end of the day, it's your recipe card. It's the information in an organized format that you need to see and you need to know and trust so that you can effectively make decisions. See, in our world, we work with a lot of construction contractors. What I've learned simply from this process is that when we provide a contractor their cash flow tool, their project cash flow for a specific job, and we tell them where the problems are, which is all the financial modeling is, the next piece is the key. The next piece is where all the juice is. What do I do? Well, the construction contractors know what to do better than almost anybody. They jump on top of those problems. They know to go talk to this supplier. I'm going to go talk to that supplier. I'm going to take this information. And they execute in an extremely resilient way. It's actually amazing to watch. Much better than the rooms I used to sit in with a bunch of fancy executives in a med device suite conference room. Big medical device companies, half of them don't even know what they're talking about. They're great with Excel, but they don't know how to make decisions. So construction contractors is exactly the opposite. They might not know how to make the fancy Excel, but when you hand them one and they can see all the information, they know what to do. They do it fast and effectively, and you can too. Cash flow management. So managing your cash is different than profit. It's different than your bid. Cash flow management is basically taking the cash you have in your business, the sources of cash that are coming in to the business, and what your uses of that cash are going out the business. So out of the business is easy. It's your payroll. It's your vendors. It's the equipment you need to buy. It might be the electric bill, the rent, mortgage, etc. Those are easy to manage. Those are very also easy to sit inside a cash flow. The sources of cash coming in, that's the stuff that you have to estimate. You have to budget to. You have to kind of guess. And you don't want to make those guesses convenient for your cash flow model. If anything, you want to make those guesses conservative to your cash flow model, which means if they're going to come in 30 days, model it with that they're going to come in 40 days. Give yourself some room so you can make some decision. What cash flow management does is it gives you the ability to know exactly when your cash is coming in, but more importantly, when it gets there, what do you need to spend those exact dollars on? Just because you have $100,000 in your account today, for example, and you have an $80,000 bill that's due, doesn't mean that you can use that particular $100,000 for that $80,000 bill. Because what a cash flow management is going to tell you is you need that 100 grand in your account to pay for the next 2 weeks payroll. And nothing else can be used for that. But if you were to make that $80,000 supplier bill who's called you 4 times that week and they want to get paid, then you're going to have a supplier bill problem, but now you're going to have a weekly payroll problem. Not only this week, but next week. Those are the decisions that you're going to be able to make. What do I do with this exact 100 grand? The next decision is, when do I get to pay that 80 grand to the supplier? Because I do want to pay the 80 grand supplier. Well, the answer is when this $200,000 check comes in from customer A, customer B, or customer C. And maybe it's when you get the first 80 grand from customer B, you can then pay the supplier. Those are the types of decisions you want to be able to make. And having good cash flow tools and cash flow management is going to be able to give you those kind of decisions and execute from them. Now we're going to get into a project cash flow tool. So how do we do cash flow management? How do we manage budgets? With all those fancy words I talked about, what are we going to do? All right, first and foremost, there are cash flow tools directly on our website. They're all free. The project cash flow tool, the same one we use to underwrite loans and help our customers and try to decide whether we can help them or not, it's the exact same tool. Put it on our website, you can access it right off our resource page. You type in the answers to the questions. You can download the Excel file if you're pretty savvy with Excel. We have an instructional guide. You can download those. The benefit of the project cash flow tool, it's going to take your bid for each project, what the costs are. It's going to layer in the schedule that you need to keep, meaning is it a 2-month project? Is it a 4-month project? You're going to layer all those costs out. Then it's going to tell you exactly how much you need to get to how much cash you need from the start of the job to the point of the job that's cash flow positive. It's going to tell you exactly what your margin is. It's going to tell you exactly what your profit should be. It's going to tell you how much of the actual expenses on the project that you need to invest into that job before it's cash flow positive and when. It's also going to tell you the best ways to manage that job from an efficiency perspective. What happens if you put an extra crew on it right from the beginning of the job? Do you get it done faster? Can you do it more profitable? What if you pay your supplier in 30-day terms? Do you need to invest 70% of the expenses? What if you extended that supplier out to 45-day terms? Maybe you only need to invest 25% of the expenses. These are the kind of decisions you're going to make. Remember I told you at the beginning of this video, the resiliency of the construction group or contractors and owners that we work with is impressive. Well, when I tell a construction contractor that, hey, by the way, if you could get a supplier that could give you 45-day terms instead of 30-day terms, instead of you needing $500,000 to run this project, you only need $200,000. Guess what? It takes about 24 hours. They come back and say, guess what? Not only did I get a supplier to give me 45 days, they're going to give me 60, and I got a discount for doing it. Why is that? Well, if you're going to your suppliers before a project starts and showing them that you want to spend $300,000 or $400,000 on materials, and you're going to shop it with 2 or 3 other vendors, don't you think they're going to give you a little bit more break? Don't you think they're going to try to compete for your business a little bit better? Maybe they give you terms. Maybe they give you better pricing. Even if they give you better pricing, but you need better terms to make the project work with the folks for the things you need. If you need terms, get terms first, then get a better price. So what do? They come back with better terms and better pricing. Why? They have a tool. They can go sit with the credit person, the supply house, and say, hey, look, I want to order this from you, but this is why I need 45-day terms. Look, I don't get cash flow positive until I'm 10 weeks into the job, until I receive my 3rd pay application, or whatever the numbers are. It's the information that you have, but also the information that you can share that helps someone on the other end give you the terms you need, because they know you know what you're talking about and they know you've thought it through, and you're not just asking them for longer terms so that you don't have to pay them and use the money for somewhere else. That's what they're trying to avoid. And so you can use this information, these tools, to help you do exactly that. All right. So in conclusion, I want to recap for you what we talked about. First, financial modeling. All the fancy terms. Who cares? All cash flow modeling is, all financial modeling is, and everything else, it's just your recipe card. If you were a chef, it's your recipe for the dish you never made before. It's the information you need to quickly and effectively make the best decisions for you in your business, on your projects, with your expenses, doing what you need to do. Imagine having the information you need readily available to you instantly, so you can then say, there's the problem I'm going to face 10 weeks from now. There's the way I can avoid running around between Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday chasing my customers to pay me early or pay me on time and hurting my relationships. Now you know how to do that. That's all financial modeling is. It's your recipe card. Next, what the cash flow tool can do for you is give you the information you need up front so you can be proactive in your decisions and not reactive to the situations that you're at hand. It's also going to tell you what you can spend the dollars that you have in your account today on. What are the uses of those dollars? Remember the story I told. This 100 grand in your account is not the same 100 grand that might be in there next week. What you need to use this 100 grand for is for very specific things. And you have to wait till the next 100 grand comes in before you can use that for the next set of things. Those are the things that are going to be easy for you to manage and do. So that, again, you can proactively manage that relationship. You can call the supply house in my example and say, hey, look, the $80,000 I owe you, I got that check coming in 2 weeks. This is when I'm going to give it to you. I'm really sorry it didn't come in this week. I know it's due, but here's the payment. Here's where it's coming in, and I can pay you then. And then deliver on that promise. But it's great to know and have that information so you can manage those conversations, your relationships and your vendors and your employees and your customers and everyone else. You're managing those relationships proactively instead of reactively. And finally, if you thought this video was helpful, if you liked anything I said, if you can think it can help anyone, please share it. Put a note in the comments. If there's any questions, put them right in the comments. We'll get to them and answer them all for you. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate you all. God bless.